So here's a Final Fantasy staple we haven't seen.
Yeah!
Are they magnificent assholes like Tomberry's are, or...?
They are magnificent assholes in their own little special way. So, Parting Dance does exactly what you think it does.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to do that thing that cactuars do.
And they are going to run the fuck away.
But not before battering us with magic. Well, I guess at least it counted as a victory.
It's better than nothing.
Well, that was fun. Well, now back to Titan's Trials.
There's actually a slightly larger group of them right over here.
Oh, more of them.
Yeah, they're fast little buggers.
So now we're going to have 5 things instantly charging our Beroga. Oh look, they're all dancing in a line, that's cute. So, I guess 5 of them are actually a danger.
Yeah, 5 of them can be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I see how that can be the case. Like, I'm guessing through all this we have been remaining at level 9.
No, we are, like, maybe a quarter of the way through 10, roughly.
Okay. So we are at least still leveling up.
We are leveling up slowly.
Oh well. Yeah, the thing about level 9, the end of level 9 is pretty much exactly the point that you can legit grind to without going to any massive inconvenience, only a minor one. But it's what you can get away with if you are prepared to grind Vladislaus, which is basically the best investment or return of CP to effort that the game offers, and therefore is of course missable before you get level 10. So that's nice.
So, the Rakhtavaja here will dual cast Ruinga and Aroga.
Lovely.
This makes it an absolute bitch, because you basically cannot hurt it until you stagger it.
Yeah, it's one of those.
And so it ends.
Yeah. Well, that's not great.
So, you really want to pop an Aegisol before you go into that fight, because coming in with Shell will make it about 5,000 times easier to just get started.
And hey, since we're burning shrouds, why not use the other one as well? Again, you can buy shrouds at this point in the game.
They are very expensive, but they can be bought.
So yeah, if you're actually going for that stupid fucking achievement, you've got to balance that against, do you want to actually be able to not have a terrible pulling your hair out time with the fights? That's game design. Oh, hey, alright, that does look a lot more survivable now.
Yeah, now we only lose, like, 2/3 of our health instead of 3/4.
Oh well. Can we at least stagger it relatively quickly, like break out a tri-disaster or something? Oh hey, Rav Sav Sab, that's good too. Yeah, the one thing I actually like about the post-game is that it's where you get to start playing with the, I'm gonna go with creative paradigm combinations.
Yeah, the kind of stuff you can't really get away with in the main part of the game.
Yeah, mostly because of how inherently unreasonable it is to actually get the other roles for other characters up to anywhere near workable. I mean, the only reason that you're able to get away with stuff like, the Hope Commando and Fang Ravager, and that one of Lightnings that I thought wasn't terrible, is because they all get good stuff early, and can coast on the stats that are coming from the other roles.
Yeah, like, Lightning's first 2 spells for Synergist are Bravery and Faith, which essentially makes her a much cheaper version of Saz. if you're willing to go without haste.
Yep.
And by now, Hope should have that anyway, so... if you're gonna use her, you might as well...
I guess. And doesn't she get, she gets, evade and elude, straight away as a sentinel?
Yeah. She actually does not get any of the actual guard commands, but, her first 3 abilities are Provoke, Evade, Elude.
Yep.
So, like I said, she makes a very good dodge tank. And that's notable because there is really no way to dodge things in this game.
Yeah, it's normally only a thing that enemies can do. So there's a couple of enemies that basically just have it as an invincibility state sometimes. So are we going to get to see you rolling with the 6 triple deck?
We will probably see that once we finish up the trials and start fucking around on Pulse.
Because it's a very entertaining way to play this game. And this is a game that is sorely, sorely lacking in very entertaining ways to play. I mean, see our current predicament. We're halfway done with Titan's Trials at this point?
More or less.
And it's just... fight after fight after fight after fight.
Right, and of course not pictured are all the times when I completely finish a route, but I need to get to that same spot again so I can go to the other ending, which means that's 5 more hunts.
Yep. Like I said, it's 17 missions of content in 35 missions worth of investment. And you have to run through this entire thing every time as well. And sometimes you have to go through the squares that have terrible enemies in them, and yeah.
So this one is fun, if you can call it that. I mean, Vertiles are not exactly super threatening.
But they do that thing.
Yes, they do that thing where they summon a much bigger friend of theirs. But, as it turns out, they are very helpless on their own. So if you start the fight with a paradigm like Cerberus, you can usually kill them before they even get a chance to do anything.
So hey, there's an actual, there's an actual application for Cerberus that's not related to staggering and is actually appropriate for the levels of enemy that you're fighting. Well then. I mean, I didn't think that this game would actually have a situation where you can just run in and attack things a bunch of times and have it be a viable strategy. Unless you're backtracking. And again, the target time was 30 seconds.
Yeah, you were not expected to take very long on that one. But still, that is a thing that you can do.
Well hey, it's been a while since we saw an interesting wrinkle in the combat system. So I guess this is one of those times where I have to grudgingly give credit where it's due. These areas still have really dumb names, by the way. We're on our way to Sylphid Path. I'm pretty sure that's not a way that you're supposed to use that word.
That applies to, everything in the Fault Warrens.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb. Oh boy. Are there actually any interesting enemies left, in the middle of this area, or are they all...
Not really. There's, one that's vaguely interesting in the next video, but for the most part, it's just the endings at this point.
Well then. With that ringing endorsement, we continue into battle. It was uneventful. You didn't miss anything.
So this one is almost interesting if we weren't, severely overpowered for what it is.
Okay.
I just think it's kind of cute. You know, you have all three of the upgraded, you have all three of the goblins, and then all three of their upgraded forms, and each of them have a different goblin enhancement. So,
I guess that's just sort of barely interesting. I mean, do they all have roughly the same stats, or are these all like different palette swaps with different levels?
no, these are different level enemies. Like I say, the Munchkin Maestro is significantly easier to kill than the Borgbear hero.
That seems. I don't know if that's like lazy or if that's actually a deliberate thing. Like they give you all these bunch of enemies, and it's supposed to be a hey, you kind of had to figure out that you kill the weaker ones first. But you know, then again, that's basically JRPG combat.txt. So I don't know. I'm really trying to give them credit. Never let it be said I'm not trying.
I don't know, that seems like kind of a stretch, honestly. I would not give them credit for that.
And again with the exactly 11 full damage, by the way. I don't understand why they do that.
I had Hope die from fall damage while I was playing off camera.
Oh really?
He totally did.
Well, you should have gotten an achievement for that. I don't know.
Alright, so there's only one other quick thing of note here, and that is this Seath Stone right here. You'll note that even though we've cleared the hunt for this area, it's still down. That's because this is a special one that can only be accessed after we clear all of Titan's Trials.
Okay then. I don't actually remember that.
It's the special final hunt.
Oh, okay. I guess.
So yeah. Alright, so we have more Vertiles. This one's an A rank hunt though, so I mean that's...
Is there gonna be like a whole bunch of them?
I mean they've gotta be coming with like a Juggernaut or something. There's no way that the game would seriously just throw out a couple Vertiles and be like, this is totally an A rank hunt, guys, we swear.
Man, what if it's like 6 Juggernauts?
I mean, it's not like it's the first time they've pulled that. I know they had one of the fights like way back at the beginning of the Oshus Massif that was like, fight this low-level summoning dude, and then you get there and it's like 3 of those and 3 Vertiles in the fight. So that's what they're doing. I bet you this is a bait and switch.
Well. Oh yeah, by the way, you have to watch this cutscene every single time, and it takes far too long.
Well, I mean, you can skip it, but...
Oh, okay. But yeah, Square Cubicle really not working out well for brevity here.
Oh.
So, as opposed to 3 of them, it's now 4 of them. Well, I guess they're stalling you by launching you.
Yeah, that is technically a valid strategy.
No, that would have... Yeah, this fight had an 8-minute target time. They were clearly expecting you to not be able to do that. Which kind of suggests that they don't understand how their game works.
They do have a very interesting drop, though. The 20-sided die is... It basically gives you a very small chance of negating damage entirely when you get hit with something.
So, over time, very useful, highly defensive, and in any given situation that might call for the equipping of a useful item, totally unreliable and therefore entirely useless.
You got it.
Well, that's nice. Anyway, now, since I mentioned it, I'm kind of surprised that this game didn't do a thing that I said earlier, with like, having an enemy that summons, like only one, maybe 2 enemies that summon, and then a bunch of other enemies that protect it, and whose only job is to try and stall you, and it's like having to be a little puzzle fight, try and find a way to fight through to the summoning guys, while the other guys they're not even going to hurt you, they're just going to stall you, and then die.
Yeah, so do you remember how there was a more dangerous version of this guy in Orphan's Cradle?
I remember.
Well, Square sure didn't.
Okay. Alright then. So, well, that was just straight up the 13th arc, or whatever the hell arc it was. 5th arc? What the hell number arc was it?
It was the 5th arc.
Is there a 13th arc? Did I just make that up?
Yes. Yes, you did.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't the 13th arc.